Hello, and welcome to the Internal Mobility Podcast, where we explore all of the ways for you to reach your potential here at Randstad, while also making this giant company a little easier to know and understand. Today, our guest is Shawn Ziemba, and Shawn is a recently promoted vice president. And Cliff Mason reached out to me and said, "You've got to hear her story." And I'm really excited for her to share it today. Welcome, Shawn.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here and share my story as well.
Well, your story has a lot of brands and products, Randstad products under your belt. Like, you started with an SFM brand, so you've worked for Mergis, Legacy, Tatum, and RP, and then Mass Customized, and now you're living your dream in Florida, which is another shift for you, right? You started in the Northeast and now you're in the Southeast, which is really interesting because 10% of our applicants that are internal are making location moves. And you've made a lot of them through this organization over the years. And I know your leaders have been a big part of that process. Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started my career as a legacy SFN. I was adopted by Randstad when the acquisition of SFN happened in 2011. I was up in the greater Philadelphia area, and my in-laws had retired to Savannah, Georgia years ago when they were young. And then one trip in 2015, they were a little scared. They were getting older and they had no family. So I had a really good relationship with my leader at the time, Macon Albertson, and I raised my hand internally and very supportive. I said, could you get me as close to Savannah, Georgia as possible? And 2 months later, he said, how about Jacksonville, Florida?
Awesome. Awesome. And then, too, last time you and I talked, you said something to me that I want the whole company to hear. You were talking about Ginger Hicks. I know that's not her current name. What's her last name today?
Her last name today is Ginger Harrington.
Ginger Harrington. And you said, let me tell you one thing about Ginger. She is selfless. She doesn't have a selfish bone in her whole body. I knew for a fact that she was all about what was best for me.
Yes. Yeah, I was a little nervous because, of course, we had Project Titan, which a lot of the folks out there don't know what that is. But when we combined our old RP, Randstad Professionals division, with RGS and Mass Customized to create Office Professionals in November of 2020, Ginger became my boss. And I had worked with Ginger here in the local Jacksonville market, of course, as colleagues and cross OPCO and things like that. So I was a little nervous that I was going to have another boss, but immediately from day one, Ginger was all about me. Nothing about her. She's like, what do you like? What do you need? What support? Like, where do you want to go in this company? How can I help you? From day one, and just being open. And we talk about great conversations, once a quarter, but it was like every time I talked to Ginger, it was a great conversation. And it was always about me and how she could help support me and help me just not on a day-to-day, but where else do I want to go in the company? Which for the first time in a long time, it was for me to have a leader like that was unbelievable.
That's awesome. I know that's what's kept me here like almost 23 years now, is just being able to work for folks like Melinda Randolph, my boss, and just the support system that you really have at work when you've got a good leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's kept you here? Why do you stay?
Well, what's kept me with Randstad, and I've worked for a few of our major competitors, which shall remain nameless, prior to me joining SFN in November of 2009, is what Randstad truly does: put our clients and candidates first. It's not just a mantra on our website. It's not something in marketing materials that, we peddle out to our clients. And, a lot of our competitors say that, but they don't live and breathe it behind the curtain. Whereas here, when we make decisions, our clients and candidates come first. Randstad comes second in terms of their best interests. And of course, our own personal pocketbooks come third. And they're just truly supportive. It really feels like a family, and that they care about us internally. And I feel it, it's not every day, but I feel it consistently, whether it's weekly or monthly or just, ad hoc situations, whether it's something to do with me or someone on our team or, someone in another division that I hear a story about. So, that family feel and that true, again, selflessness, right, from a company perspective, and putting us and our clients and candidates first is really important to me.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what advice would you give to somebody that wants to make a move and go to a new division, because you've worked in a few?
Yeah. Well, my biggest piece of advice is to trust when we say that we want to keep our best folks in the family. And what I mean in the family, it doesn't have to be in the same division that you're in right now. It can be a Source Right. It could be Randstad Technologies. It could be RIS or M&L. It can be any division. Our best interest, again, is to make sure our folks are in the right place that's going to make them happy. And to just trust that, because I did. And I had those great conversations with Macon, and I'm in Florida, right?
Yeah.
I had the great conversations with Ginger. And then when we decided to take accounting and finance, out of mass customized and realign it with our Tatum division, Ginger, because of our conversations, was at the table and was able to say, hey, Shawn Ziemba is who you need to talk to about a vice president position. So if I hadn't had that conversation, if I didn't have the courage and the trust, then I wouldn't be where I am right now.
Excellent. All right. So final question, what has been your favorite human forward moment in the last couple of weeks?
Well, that's a tough question for the last couple of weeks. But I can share probably my most important and I guess emotional to a degree, human forward experience that I've had within the last year and a half. Was in April of 2022, a major life event happened to me to where work came second and family had to come first for me. It was very personal. It was a 31-year relationship. My husband unexpectedly passed away. And Randstad was so unbelievable to where the last thing on my mind was work. And they said, Shawn, we got this. We're here for you. Not only were they here for me and allowed me the opportunity to focus on family first and myself and the situation at hand, but almost the entire region, cross division, showed up at my husband's service in Savannah, which in the midst of the fog of everything that happened those first few weeks, to look up and see Ginger Harrington there and James Colhart and like my entire team and folks from other divisions that had worked for me. And then just the support that I got, coming back after being in Savannah for all those weeks and there being things here from Randstad that they sent to me, planting trees in my husband's honor. I mean, those kind of things, there was no other human forward situation that I could think of to share other than that.
That's a pretty powerful one. Thank you for sharing it. And I'm just thinking, like, we're humans at work, right? It seems like we're all just humans. And your story in particular, to get healthy and then come back to work and now be a vice president.
Yeah, it's everything beautiful. My husband and I talked about. It's come true. So
excellent. Well, congratulations and thanks again.
No, thank you. Thank you.